With round one of the NFL draft done, there are still plenty of great prospects remaining. Today, I'll be looking at the best prospects remaining and going over the best mid-round quarterbacks. I'm going to be doing best offensive player remaining, then best defense, then the best QB, and we'll run through that 3 times. I'll also be listing guys in less detail afterward. So let's just see. Adonai Mitchell's a surprise to see him fall out of the first round. I would expect him to go to the Bills at 33 though, so I don't want to dwell on it too long. He has the tools it takes to become a number one in the NFL. He is explosive and has very good control of his body. Cooper DeJean is definitely the best defensive guy left in my opinion, but not the safest. I expect him to be a top 25 pick, but he has fallen most likely because of the injury concern. He can run a 40, but can he still stick with people on the field? I think it'll be intriguing to see where he ends up, but definitely the most talented guy remaining. In my opinion, QB 7 and 8 are very close. I'm going to put Rattler above Michael Pratt, though, just because I feel like he has matured as a player a lot. Spencer Rattler was very hindered by a pretty poor offensive scheme, but has a very nice arm. I think he can be a solid player if with the right team. Spencer Rattler could go to the Cowboys, but I would expect Trey Lance to be the Dak successor if Dak weren't to resign. I think the Raiders are the best fit for him, though. I almost see Spencer Rattler as like a Josh Dobbs type of player. Jackson Powers Johnson is a guy I was expecting to go top 25. I really thought he'd go to either the Dolphins or the Seahawks, but I was wrong and he'd slip out of the first round. I believe he is currently the best lineman on the board, and anybody who takes him will be happy. Dzon Newton is a very good interior defensive lineman. I think that his fall to the second round is expected because of the top talent in this draft being so good. In most other drafts, he's probably a top 20 guy off the board, but like we've seen with other players, he fell out of the first round. I would still be very excited about him, and he does excel as a run defender. Michael Pratt is going to be the second QB on this list. Like I said earlier, but there is an argument for him to be one. He goes through progressions very well, something he does a little better than Spencer Rattler. He is also very tough physically, and I believe he has the tools to be the fringe starter in the league. He showed solid progression through college, and if he keeps up that progression, he could be a Ryan Tannehill type. I think a good fit for him would be the Rams. I don't want to put another receiver, although this would be the spot for Keon Coleman, as I am higher on him than I am Ladd McConkey, although Ladd is still a great player. Instead, Texas has another great running back coming out of the draft like last year. Jonathan Brooks was a great player for the Longhorns this year. He was behind Bijan the last couple years and finally got a chance to shine. He really excels in vision, and he runs quick and hard. Although I don't want to talk about another corner as it was just now with receiver, I think DeJean can be classified as a safety. So in this spot, we have Kool-Aid McKinstry. In an average NFL draft, I think McKinstry is a top 3 corner. Both all the talent in this class, he fell down the board. Like I said in my gut reaction video, the second round feels like an extension of the first. McKinstry is a good corner who is great at not letting a wide receiver make the catch, and he breaks up passes fairly easily. He is like glue on a receiver and does not let them beat him deep. He can also be a great punt returner if need be. With the final QB on this list, I have Devon Ly or Austin Reed. I am going to choose Leary here, and other guys like Milton, Travis, and Hartman just don't get me as excited as Devon Ly does. He is pretty solid at layering his passes. He can find the pocket and stick in it. Although he's not very well at extending plays as a runner, he has a respectable arm, although his ball placement needs a bit of work. He reminds me of an Andy Dalton, especially, but maybe a Case Keenum or Mitch Trubisky. I think he is the start of the 4th tier of QBs. I don't think this tier will have anyone drafted, though. I could see the Lions being a good spot for him way later in the draft or as an undrafted free agent. Now, I have the rest of my second round guys that just weren't mentioned on the list. All of these guys are good players, just overshadowed by the second round guys on the list before this. Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey, Braden Fisk, Marshawn Nealon, Junior Colson, Ennis Rakestraw, Edrin Cooper, TJ Tampa, Jatavion Sanders, Chris Jenkins, and Kamari Lassiter Most of those, Jatavion Sanders is a tight end, but quite a few good edge rushers and corners and receivers still on the board. And there's even more good receivers still on the board, just not mentioned in that list. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys look out for these prospects upcoming in the second round of the draft. I think that anyone should be very excited about all of these guys still left. And my team doesn't have a top 50 pick, but if we did, I'd be watching this just as closely as I was the first round, just because of how many guys still are on the board.